Rockies, middle game of a 3-game set, taking on the Cincinnati Reds. What a Friday night it was at 20th and Blake, as the Rockies won in walk-off fashion 6-5, the bottom of the 9th inning. Good evening, glad you're along as always with my partner Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, normally you talk about walk-off hits to win a game. It was a walk-off wild pitch, but the guy who made it happen had a little league 9th inning.
Didn't he, though? Because you think about this, when he's up there, most guys would be thinking, man, I need to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I want to be a hero that way. Sounds great on paper. But then Charlie got in the box and said, no, I think a bunt will be just fine. Thank you very much. I'll get on first because I then might have a chance to steal second base. They had to go to the replay, but yes, he's saying I'm safe because, you know what, Brandon Phillips forgot to tag him, so he's safe. Yeah, good call, Hunter Windelstadt. Then the easy ground out from DJ LeMahieu. You're sitting at third, 2 outs, but still a lot of ways to score from third base. And yeah, first pitch goes by Tucker Barnhart, slide in. It's only the second time in Rockies history that's happened. Last time was 2011, and that was Troy Tulowitzki. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter where. They won it. Everybody gets high fives, and a pretty nice victory last night.
I'll tell you what, it was a marvelous victory last night, and one of the unsung heroes was a guy that's accustomed to the center stage, and that is Carlos Gonzalez. He's really heated up over the last month or so. He has a penchant for the big hit. Last night, not once, but twice, he got the Rockies even with the long ball.
And it's the first time this year that he's had multiple home runs in a game, but these were big swings. That first one was a changeup that he hit into the upper deck, and then the other one was a fastball down and away. The pitcher, J.J. Hoover, said, I thought it was a good pitch. It might have been, but Carlos is a better hitter, and he hit it out to dead center field to tie it up. Now you're seeing Carlos Gonzalez, and it's kind of fun to watch a guy that has struggled so much early in the season. He never lost confidence in himself, and I think that is very key for any professional player. But then now you're starting to see those home run totals start to creep back up again.
Well, he's a guy, as they like to say, you can get on his back and ride him for a while. He is that gifted. So the Rockies riding some momentum after the thrilling 6-5 victory last night. Chris Russell, talk about a competitor. He'll be on the hill for the Rockies against Johnny Cueto. Rockies and Reds, come on back to Coors Field with us. Well, last night, Carlos Carlos Gonzalez tied the game at 3, tied the game up again later on in the evening. But it took that special 9th inning. Charlie Blackmon moving around the bases. First the bunt hit, the stolen base, the move-up ground ball, and then on a wild pitch, he gets greeted, and it's all smiles at home plate. And the Rockies will try to build on that this evening. Welcome inside Coors Field on just a splendid, warm Saturday evening in late July. The Rockies and Reds, Game 2. The Rockies have won 3 of 4 against Cincinnati so far this year. And Chris Russin, who faced the Reds a couple of times when he was playing for the Chicago Cubs and threw a gem at them in Cincinnati earlier this year, will have the baseball again tonight, and he is in a very good place, Jeff Houston.
Yeah, especially at home where he is 2-0 with a 3 ERA, 5 quality starts in a row. Pretty nice to see from Chris Russin.
Let's take a look at the Reds lineup tonight for Brian Price. He's got his veteran second baseman atop the lineup at Brandon Phillips, one of the better all-around players in the game. Southwest batting order for the Reds will feature Joey Votto, who homered, tied the ball game in the 9th inning yesterday. Then Todd Frazier, the all-star star of the home run derby. Jay Bruce, Brian Pena, Marlon Byrd, Eugenio Suarez will be at shortstop. Johnny Cueto will bat 8th, and then Billy Hamilton will be in the 9th spot. The Rockies kept him off the base paths last night. And here are more numbers on Chris Russin. Fastball, cutter, changeup primarily.
And that cut fastball has been working extremely well for Chris. He's attacking the strike zone. And I mentioned the last 5 starts, quality 1-1. 32 1/3 innings, 20 strikeouts, only 7 walks during that time. He says, if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to beat me hitting the ball. I'm not going to give you any free passes.
I keep coming back to one word. You played a long time in the big leagues, more than 10 years. You want guys who are ready to compete every time out. And Chris Russin's not going to be confused with Clayton Kershaw stuff-wise. But guess what? He's going to set his jaw, and he's going to get after you.
There's a certain compete level that every player has to have. Some have more than others, and Chris knows his stuff isn't, doesn't grade out as great as some of the other players, but that doesn't matter in his mind.
Nope. And he gets a ground ball to short off the bat of Brandon Phillips. Joey Votto will step in next. Look at Chris Russin in his Rocky debut. He pounded the bottom of the strike zone against the Reds.
7 innings, 4 hits, just 1 earned run, had 5 strikeouts, and that was an emergency start for him. They weren't sure what's going to happen. He goes out there and says, I got this covered on 90 pitches.
Joey Votto, always, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time a patient hitter. Every once in a while he'll try to ambush you. He hit a line drive that I asked him tonight. I said, do you think that was out? And he said, no, I thought it was going to be, over Corey Dickerson's head, or actually in the 9th inning. Yesterday, Barnes was in the game, but he thought it was going to be a double. So much so, Jeff, that he stopped at second base.
He's pointing. He said, wait, what is it? Double home run? I don't know. I'll stop here for a moment.
Ball runs inside, so it's 2-1 on Votto, a native of Toronto.
And you mentioned sometimes he'll ambush. Last night he did that in the 1st inning. He swung at the very first pitch and grounded out to second base.
Caught you and I by surprise. You're just not accustomed to seeing that. And he is such a shrewd player. 2-1 count. The left side wide open. Charlie Blackmon on a 1-strike pitch last night took advantage. He tried to do the same thing there, and the slider was an excellent one. So it's 2-2.
And he also had a base hit to left field just through that 5-6 hole because he saw where the shift was.
That bounces up there. So it's 3-2 on Votto, who walks a great deal of the time. He's got a 400+ on base percentage.
Just so disciplined at the plate, very small strike zone, a great bat control.
And he slices his foul. You and I were remarking, and we're fortunate, to walk down and watch batting practice every day, and be in the clubhouse, and have relationships with these guys because you see them every day. Joey Votto hits out of a crouch. I think people who've only seen him on television probably think, what is he, 6 foot, 6'1"? Joey Votto's a big dude. He's 6'3", and he's well put together. Sometimes it's lost because of his stance. 2 hops to DJ. Rustin has 2 outs. Defensively, the Rockies will align in the exact same fashion as they did yesterday. Dickerson back in their second ball game off the DL for Corey. Charlie Blackmon playing a very fine center field. Cargo, Gold Glover in right. Nolan, Troy, DJ, and Ben Paulson. And a very good infield, as you're aware, and Nick Huntley behind the plate. And of course, with this start time, that sun is an issue on throws from the left side of the infield. You may even see Nolan the first couple of innings bounce the ball intentionally to Ben Paulson.
Yeah, that's a nice cut from our director, Mike Fox, to show that what Ben is going to have to look through when that throw comes over from Nolan. And it's something you'll practice during batting practice, where you'll skip a ball to the first baseman because it's not a normal throw, what you usually work on.
Ball and a strike on Todd Frazier. He had a ground rule double on a 3-0 pitch last night against Eddie Butler. He's behind here 1-2. That was his 29th double last night. Only 2 Reds have ever produced 50 doubles in a season. Pete Rose,
Charlie Hustle
in 78, and the great Frank Robinson. Both of those guys 51. For Frank, it was back in 1962. 68 games left for Frazier. Needs 21 more doubles. He's on pace to produce 96 extra base hits. The club record was set by Frank Robinson with 92 extra base hits in a season.
He's on pace to hit 44 home runs.
On pace to be a 40 home run, 40 double guy. That's never happened. They've had 30 homer and 40 doubles from Frank Robinson in their annals, but never 40 home runs and 40 doubles. Frazier's a beast. 2 best third basemen in the National League. And this is a big hopper. Troy's got to come get that, and he does. And a great start for Russin. 3 miss-hit ground balls. 6-3, 4-3, 6-3. We'll see the Rockies with the bats when we come back. First inning on a gorgeous warm evening at Coors Field. Big crowd expected. Rockies and Reds. Rockies 18-7 their last 25 home encounters with the Cincinnati Reds. Charlie Blackmon striding to the plate. He's been just outstanding, closing in on the 300 mark. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines as the Rockies line up tonight. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Walt has DJ LeMahieu again in the 2 spot, then Tulo, Cargo, Nolan Arenado. See, Cargo's over the 260 mark. Dickerson will bat 6, Paulson, Huntley, and Chris Russin. And the incomparable Johnny Cueto on the hill. You talk about a level of consistency. Johnny Cueto, year in and year out, throws up a low ERA. The 0-1. And that fastball misses 1-1. It'll be 19th start for Johnny. He's missed some time this year.
Well, he just missed one. He had a bad elbow, had to skip a start. That was back on May 24th at Cleveland. But Johnny Cueto is one of those just guys every year will put up great numbers. 20-win season last year. Since 2010, he's 71-38 with a 2.74 ERA. That ERA is second best only to some guy out pitching out in LA named Kershaw.
And I don't know if people realize that, how special he's been. This ball is on the ground to Votto at first. And Charlie's retired. Charlie nearly knocked the salmon off somebody's plate in the Mountain Ranch Club. He went 3 rows deep in the Mountain Ranch Club with that foul ball.
Heads up souvenir. You got your salad, you got your main entree, and you got a baseball.
You got a Rawlings hardball. DJ LeMahieu coming up with 1 out. Here's how the Reds will defend Coors Field tonight. Marlon Byrd, Billy Hamilton, Jay Bruce in the outfield. Frazier, Suarez, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto. And Pena's behind the plate. Solid receiver. Suarez, 23-year-old shortstop. Zach Cozart's out for the year with an ACL injury. And they believe that Suarez may be their future at that spot. He swung the bat well so far.
A younger kid, too, only 23 years of age. Cozart's upper 20s, coming off an ACL.
When did upper 20s become old, though?
Well, in baseball.
Yeah.
I would love to go back to the upper 20s.
We certainly we act like it most nights.
Sure.
2 balls and a strike on DJ. Got a base hit last night. Actually, really should have been a double. That's where Eddie Butler had the running mishaps, plural, and he lost a double. It became a single, but he has a 14-game hitting streak, longest in baseball right now. Hitting .411 during that stretch.
I also think he would rather have that RBI than the double. He'll take the single if the guy would have scored, but the RBI is what really hurt.
Just inside. Fortunately, it ended well for the Rockies with the victory, and they could have a lot of fun, and we'll share that with you in a little bit with Eddie Butler. 3-2. Cueto does not walk many. That's interesting. Johnny looked in. He already had the sign, and LeMahieu wasn't even in the box. You don't usually work that way. This is bounced off the glove. Bare hand, Brandon Phillips. That's a special play by a very special second baseman.
And if he doesn't bare hand this baseball, then it is going to extend that hit streak for DJ. Goes off the glove of Cueto, and Brandon, one motion, grabs the baseball and fires it sidearm. It'll go down as a 1-4-3 putout.
So Tulowitzki getting ready to step in. Johnny Cueto, as I'm sure you're aware if you follow Major League Baseball, has been front and center in so many rumors, so much so that the rumors were flying before the ball game that Cueto would not make tonight's start because he had been moved. And because of that, tomorrow's starter, Michael Lorenzen, went out and started throwing, started long tossing in preparation just in case to make the start tonight.
And I was watching his reaction when he was down the left field line. And you see, he saw Cueto come out of the dugout and start to jog to center field. He kind of dropped his head, so okay, then I guess I'm going to stop throwing now.
It was reminiscent, obviously, for Rockies fans of a few years ago when Ubaldo Jimenez in San Diego, all the rumors flying around that he was already dealt, but he warms up while Esmil Rogers is warming up next to him. And Ubaldo went out and pitched that first inning. His concentration obviously was not there, gave up 4 runs, and then hugged everybody in the dugout because he was informed, in fact, that he was traded to the Cleveland Indians. And Esmil Rogers came in and pitched after that.
So think about everything right now for Johnny Cueto. What's going on in his mind? Well, yeah, it's possibly going to be traded. Am I going to be traded after the game in the next 2 or 3 days? How's it going to affect his performance tonight?
Am I going to get a tap on the shoulder in the 3rd inning?
3rd inning,
Say,
sure.
hey, we're shutting you down because we just moved you. This ball's on the ground to Suarez. Cueto with a solid first inning. He got 3 ground balls, so we'll move to the 2nd. Doesn't seem to be affected. Is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Rockies and Reds scoreless as we go to the second. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston. Mark Stout will be along in a short while. Ryan Spilborghs as well. Game time temperature 85 degrees at Coors Field. 1-2-3 start for Chris Russin. Got 3 ground balls in the month of July. He's averaging more than 60% ground balls of balls put in play. That's outstanding.
It's up about 7% from the month of June. And the month of June wasn't bad at 53%.
Nope. Anything above 50% is really fine. Jay Bruce takes outside. It's 1-1 on Bruce, who has typically swung the bat well in his career against left-handed pitchers. And he'll hit the long ball against lefties.
Yeah, rebounded this year, hitting .274 against left-handed pitching. Last year was more of an aberration where he's just 161.
He's hit well over 50 home runs against lefties, which since 2011 is the most in the National League. Ball's popped up and playable for Corey Dickerson near the line. Now Corey had to hustle and misjudged that a little bit. And you always worry now with the plantar fascia anytime he has to move quickly or suddenly, and hopefully Corey's all right.
Looks fine there.
Yeah. Hey, Rockies fans, join in on the conversation. Send us thoughts, photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk. 1 out. And Brian Pena will come up. Rockies trying to figure out how they want to defend Pena. First DJ was on the left side. Now he's moving over to the right side against the Reds catcher. Outside ball 1. And a ground ball that'll sneak through the left side for a base hit. Well, let's check our first tweet of the night. No, this is Eddie Butler. This is not from last night. This is a reenactment, because look at the crime scene. This is what all the players saw when they went down the stairs toward the dugout. And then the Mark Razum and his crew, 2 bodies. The first one just shy of third, and then the next one about a third of the way home.
It's so much nicer when you win for two reasons. One, obviously the W, but two, you can have some fun with somebody. You can have some fun with Eddie, saying, dude, what happened last night?
I asked Eddie, I said, all right, I know your text line blew up. I said, what was the best text? He said, one of my teammates from Radford texted me, did they find the turf monster yet? Have they caught him? Marlon Byrd.
And here it was last night. The double/single from DJ LeMahieu, first to right around third base, and then again. I just go into the tag. Don't want to embarrass myself anymore.
Eddie hadn't been on base since the Eisenhower administration, though. That was part of the problem.
Yep.
You know, Eddie earned his first big league hit last night. So in all seriousness, he really hasn't run the bases in forever.
Well, the other one I heard too is they said to him, you didn't realize that Brandon Phillips, when you went closer back to the bag, he tied your shoelaces together? He goes, I know, he was talking to me. I said, yeah, that's what he does. He distracts you and then does that to you.
Well, as you said, because the night ended well, you can have a lot of fun with Eddie. Here's the 0-2 on Byrd inside. Eddie said afterwards, my mind was going 100 miles an hour. The legs were not. It's inside. The nice thing for Eddie is he'll be able to relive that in ballparks across the nation for the rest of his career and beyond.
Yeah, if that's the worst thing that's going to happen to you in your career, you know, if you play this game long enough, there's going to be a lot of things that happen to you to make you shake your head.
All right, you'll have those moments. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Russin strikes out Marlon Byrd. First strikeout of the ball game for Chris. 2 outs in the second.
A cut fastball from Chris. Just off to the side more on the Subaru Super Mode than the four-seam fastball. Coming under the hands of Marlon Byrd.
Eugenio Suarez at the plate. And the Rockies do employ a shift here on Suarez. 306, 5 home runs, 17 driven in.
Suarez started the year down in AAA Louisville, playing for Delano DeShields Sr. Managing the bats.
Well, Suarez was acquired from the Tigers in the offseason in a deal for right-handed pitcher Alfredo Simon. Simon won in the mid-teens last year, so Suarez was well thought of. The 1-1, and this is top to DJ. He drops the ball. He has no play. Wow. You have to wait another year or two to see that happen again.
Just the third error this season on DJ.
Shaw just taking the ball out of the glove.
Yeah, this was just not making a clean transfer. He's calling off Troy. I've got it. And then the ball just dropped out. I mean, nothing else to explain there other than the transfer from glove to hand.
DJ's last error came May 1st, 69 games ago. The national, or actually the major league record, is 141 by Placido Polanco. Johnny Cueto in the 8th spot in the lineup. Brian Price likes to do this.
Well, last night it hurt them a couple times because they had runners out there with 2 outs, and they had the pitcher spot come up both times because they had the intentional walk of Tucker Barnhart, and then DeScalfani struck out.
I think if Billy Hamilton was getting on base more frequently, there's a bunt attempt, and he could be the leadoff hitter that they've always envisioned him to be, you may see them more conventional. But with Billy having to bat at the bottom of the order, I think they prefer to have, you know, dual leadoff type of guys. You know, Phillips is now hitting first, and Billy Hamilton 40+ times is hitting that 9 spot.
Well, Billy's on-base percent is not real high at 269.
I mean, it's awful, to be honest. This is kind of guided to third, and Nolan could have run that ball over and beaten Johnny Cueto, who's casually making his way up the line. He knows his job is to pitch. Middle of 2, no score. The bottom of the second inning, the Rockies will have Cargo leading off against Johnny Cueto. Let's check in with Ryan Spilborg. Spilly, what do you have?
Well, I got Johnny Cueto, and talking to everybody, since 2011, he's been one of the better pitchers in baseball. Huey already mentioned it. If it wasn't for Cy Young, Clayton Kershaw, that guy on the mound right now would have won the Cy Young last year. And part of what he does that makes it so special is that he changes the hitter's timing. 2011, Brian Price, the manager of the Reds, gave him the aggregated change and shift in his mechanics. But now he's added different things, timing mechanisms, shimmies, as Nolan Arenado describes it. He does a little shimmy, throws you off the timing, and now he even adds a little quick pitch in his windup. We've already seen it a couple times at Tulo, DJ LeMahieu. That is what's making him so effective. Yes, he has a plus changeup, but he's keeping all the hitters off his fastball by changing his mechanics. There it is right there.
I didn't realize you could shimmy on the mound. I knew you could shimmy on the dance floor, but not on the mound.
You can shimmy and shake as much as you want.
Okay.
I don't want to see either one of you guys shimmy. How about that? 0-2 quickly on Cargo.
I think that's what makes him so difficult to hit, because his fastball, if you look at the velocity, it's sitting right at 92, 93 miles an hour, which is just about major league average. Yet, the guy's only hitting 167 against it.
Well, you and I both know if you're changing a hitter's mechanics at the plate, and especially with a guy like Cargo where he has a leg kick and he's trying to get the timing down, and Cueto's not doing the Louis Tiant, he's not twisting all the way around like Brian Price got him going. He's just going quick pitch and throwing at it. It makes you get off the fastball.
Well, I think it's aptly described like you're sitting in a rocking chair. You start to go forward, then you go back and forward, and that's what he's trying to do to you. It's just make you uncomfortable in that rocking chair.
This ball's lathered toward left, and coming on and making the catch is Bird. So a line out for Cargo, and that'll bring up Nolan Arenado. Well, nobody's hitting his fastball. Cueto's average against the fastball just 167, the best in baseball, a little bit ahead of Scott Kazmir, who had a great debut for Houston the other day.
Yes, he did in the trade coming over from Oakland. Jacob deGrom, I can see why he's 193, because he throws 97, 98. Casimir's left-handed, but Cueto, Zach Greinke, they're not the hard type throwers. They just mix it up enough.
Other guys further down on that list, Travis Wood of the Cubs. Kind of peeked ahead. Are the Rockies going to see Wood in that series?
On Monday they get Kyle Hendricks.
Hard ground ball, base hit past Joey Votto, and Arenado will stop after a short turn at first base. So the Rockies have their initial base runner with one out in the second inning. And that'll bring up Corey Dickerson.
Just a straight four-seam fastball, belt high for Nolan. Got in. They see a little movement going towards the label, but Nolan, eyes down, fall in the barrels, shoots it past Joey Votto. It's pretty much what you're going to have to do against Johnny Cueto.
Here's Corey Dickerson. Corey had a couple hits in his return to the lineup last night. And this is a jam shot to short center, grabbed by the shortstop Suarez. 2 outs. Ben Paulson will take his turn. Well, whenever you see a guy turn his back, for those that are old enough, they think back to Louis Tiant, great Red Sox starter.
I mean, he's the only guy you think of when a pitcher turns his back, at least for me. When he turns his back to home plate, you know, Fernando would look up to the sky, but he wouldn't turn as much as Tiant. We haven't seen it from Cueto, but he has it in his back pocket if he wants to use it.
Line drive right at Suarez. That'll end the inning. So Arenado left at first. 2 innings complete. No score. Rockies and Reds. Johnny Cueto for Cincinnati. Chris Russin for the Rockies. Use the hashtag RMDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Moon's out early tonight, Huey.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. See, they found a planet that you know, satellite was or ship was traveling for 10 years and found a planet in another solar system that potentially could have life on it.
I did not see that, but since they took Pluto away from being a planet, I've just kind of
all the the things we learned in grade school, we have to relearn. Pluto's now just a star. Billy Hamilton leading things off. The corners come in. Ben Paulson, Nolan Arenado in 15 feet, and there's the bunt anyhow, and they're not going to have a play. Yes, they did. Wow. At first base. I didn't think there was a way in the world. Chris Russin flew off the mound and threw a strike to Paulson, who recovered to get to the bag. They're going to take a look at it. What a great play by Russin. When they put that bunt down, when he put that bunt down, I didn't think there's a way in the world you're going to get him.
Especially being left-handed, and he catches it with his back towards first base, and then has to spin around to make that throw. Now they are going to go to replay and look at this. We'll catch a peek on the Subaru Supermo. I think he's safe.
Yeah, he did beat it. Hunter Wendelstedt on the call. He had the call yesterday at second base that got overturned in the 9th inning when Charlie Blackmon swiped second.
But for it to be that close, it shows some athletic ability from Chris to get there, spin, make the throw on target.
Not many pitchers get there, Huey. I'm amazed it was even a play. Time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes. Let's time him up the line if we can. We'll do it after this replay.
See what I'm saying? If he's right-handed, he can pick it up and fire it sidearm and have a better chance.
They've seen it already, and you're going to get the safe call. Yeah.
Folks, you've just seen the speed of Billy Hamilton on that bunt and how he can go. 45 stolen bases, only been caught 7 times.
So Billy Hamilton, leading baseball with 45 steals, is at first base.
He's on pace for 77 stolen bases.
Charlie fourth on that list. Big steal in the 9th last night.
One down the line. With sprinter speed.
We're going to watch that again. We're going to get a time on it. That's a strike. All right, here we go. That can't be right.
You got 3-4-1. I got 3-5-8. So we'll split the difference about 3-5-3.
That's remarkable, man. Tell people what the average time is. Big league average time from the right side of the box.
4.2 seconds.
That's solid.
Right. That is solid. From the left side is more 4.1 seconds. And we saw Trout lay down a bunt one time, and he was about 3.5, 3.6 going down the line. Now Billy Hamilton, same thing, just above 3.5 seconds.
That is amazing. Can't teach that, can you?
No, you can. That's why you're looking for speed, because it goes back to that old adage that speed never takes a day off. And that's how, Billy, if he hits the ball on the ground, it's going to be a close play. What they're trying to get him to do is quit hitting the ball in the air.
Well, it also goes back to that old line that you know so well. You can't steal first base.
And that's been part of the issue with Billy, is getting to first base. But once he gets there, it is a different dynamic. He puts so much pressure on everybody, pitcher, catcher, infielders.
He's got a real conservative lead against the southpaw. And even with the lefty, you say, well, you got to go first move. If he goes first move, you got a lot of pressure on a right-handed throwing first baseman to come to the baseball, clear himself, and make an accurate throw to the shortstop, Tulowitzki, to get him. And it's got to have something on it, obviously. There he goes. And it's a ground ball through the right side. Hamilton looked behind him. He'll go to third. And 2 men on in the third with nobody out for Cincinnati. That's a good job at the plate by veteran hitter, Huey.
Veteran Brandon Phillips, seeing where DJ had moved to, because he has to go cover the bag with the runner taking off. So look at this area right there for him to hit the ball in. DJ, he starts to break for the bag because you can't be late. That's the worst feeling for an infielder. Because you're thinking, well, if I hadn't moved, you can't be at two spots at one time. You have to. Your first responsibility, is the hitter, but the second one is I can't be late to second base.
And that was a run and hit, not a hit and run.
Yeah, just because he saw who was covering, and just drug the barrel through the zone.
Votto takes ball one. Joey a ground ball to second. So you're in that thick part of the Reds lineup. Chris Russin with good speed at first in Phillips, and ridiculous speed at third in Hamilton. I guess about the only guy hotter right now in the National League than Joey Votto since the All-Star break is Jeff Francoeur,
who hit a home run last night.
Joey's hit well over 500 since the 4 days off. One on Votto, and that's lined to center field, a base hit, and the Reds will take a 1-0 lead. RBI number 47 for Votto.
It's just kind of classic Joey Votto. Whatever I need, I'll go out there and I'll hit the ball where it's pitched. If it's away from me, I'll do that. We talked about Joey Votto last night choking up on the bat, but the hands and the body work so in sync. As that foot's coming down, then he'll start to drive off that back leg and bring the barrel through and the hands through the zone. And that's what we like to say, a repeatable swing each and every night.
They try a pick on Phillips. Brandon got a hand back in. Todd Frazier at the plate, ground ball to short. This is where Chris Russin wants to limit the damage. Gave up a run. Can induce a double play ball. That would help out immensely.
Try to keep Brandon Phillips closer to the bag with the left-hander on the hill. Sometimes it's an easier opportunity to steal third base with that blind spot. That's why you'll see Chris do the inside move and the quick picks.
One 1-0 on Frazier. Kind of a quiet second half so far for Todd. You know, anytime anybody's
now.
Yeah, anytime you know what's coming. Anytime anybody's involved in a
no foul,
turn left, foul ball. Anytime anybody's involved in a home run derby, particularly if they win it and then they get off to a slow start in the second half, it's always, well, home run derby, threw a swing off and messed them up entirely.
What do hitters do usually the last couple rounds of batting practice?
The big guys play home run derby.
Everybody does. Even the little guys sometimes they play home run derby. So to say, oh, he had to change his swing for the home run, I'm not a buyer of that.
Nor am I. Frazier lines this ball to deep right. Cargo's going to have to play it off the wall, and it went over the wall. 3-run opposite field home run for Frazier, and now it's a 4-0 Cincinnati lead. He's just so strong. You think about their big two, Votto and Frazier. Last night in the 9th inning, Votto hits a line drive over the left field wall. You think a double off the bat. This ball's hit well, but you're thinking, all right, maybe a double. And instead, it clears the auxiliary scoreboard. Just like that, it's a 3-run home run.
And you don't hit 100 career home runs without hitting them to the opposite field. And that's what Todd Frazier does with this ball. Goes down and he gets it. 7th home run given up to a right-handed hitter this year by Chris. but it goes back to the strength and the bat speed that Todd Frazier has.
Jay Bruce hooks one foul. Still nobody out. Bunt single, seeing eye single, sharp single by Votto, and then the 3-run home run from Frazier, his 27th of the year. He's got 67 ribbies, and that's outside.
Todd Frazier's become the face of the Cincinnati Reds. I know Brandon Phillips is still there, but after what he did in the All-Star game, he is the man now.
Yeah, it's wild because he's having a great year. You get yourself to an All-Star game by having a strong year, but his popularity grew tremendously on that Monday night amid the rain showers in Cincinnati. He's always been a guy that's fan friendly, takes time to sign autographs, he does all the interviews. This ball shallow center. Charlie's going to have to field it on a hop. Now 5 straight hits as Jay Bruce reaches. But he became almost an iconic figure with what he did in that home run derby in Cincinnati in front of the hometown crowd, and he played to them. Had his brother throwing to him. You and I were discussing it, I think, on the phone the next day, that we both had the same reaction. We were pulling for him.
How could you not? After the way he reacted the first round, the pressure, he got a pick off.
And a good throw from Paulson, so it'll be a caught stealing on Bruce. 1-3-6 for the Rockies, first out in the 3rd.
5th caught stealing this year for Jay Bruce. Good call from Tommy Runnels in the dugout for the throw over. They're trying to sneak attack, get a first move on a left-hander. They weren't biting on that. Get the pick off and help Chris to at least get that first out. But real quick, to go back to what we were talking about Frazier, just the way he embraced the crowd and pointed to them, and then go out there in the last pitch to do it.
It was neat stuff. Pena hits it foul.
Well, the last player to win in a home run derby in his ballpark was 1990, Ryan Sandberg with the Cubs. I mean, how can this reaction not get you pumped up? It's one of the neat elements of the All-Star week.
Well, now that they've changed it, it is. I mean, with the clock, and whoever thought a clock would help the game of baseball. But with the home run derby, that exhibition, the clock made it really exciting. Pena fouls this one off.
So did you find yourself, when you're watching this, saying if somebody was struggling in that, hey, call a timeout?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. I did it a couple times. Oh, he needs a timeout. He might only be a minute into it, but I got to go with it right now.
Dickie V yelling, get a TO,
get a
baby.
TO.
Pena goes down. Second strikeout for Chris Russin. That'll bring up Marlon Byrd. Got my college basketball partner in the house tonight, Joe Craven. Speaking of getting a TO, Joe always said play through it. He never would call a timeout. Bird struck out in the 2nd inning. I was talking to Marlon today about this time of year, and this is like old hat for him, being moved around the trade deadline. And he said, you know, it's actually a good feeling to know that you're wanted. And that's how you have to accept it, I think, as a player.
You have to embrace that. It's probably harder on your family and your wife and your kids, because they've got to maybe move up, pick, or go back home and not see you for a couple months. For the player, it's usually the easier of the two. He just packs a suitcase. They make a first-class flight for him. He's there. He's playing. He's with automatically 24 new friends.
It's always harder on the wives. Marlin will be 38 next month. One of the teams he's been attached to via Twitter and other rumored sources, if you will, the Mets, who he played for a couple years ago. That's a base hit. Seems like every bat out there is attached to the Mets.
Well, they need some offense. And then Michael Kadire just went on the DL, so they need another outfielder.
Except you know how those phone calls go with Sandy Alderson. Hey, you know, we're interested with, you know, would you let Syndergaard go?
No.
Would you trade Harvey, DeGrom? And the answer is no, 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 and no.
And what do you have after that?
Well, I guess the one guy, they'd let Wheeler, supposedly, again, they would potentially trade Wheeler, who's recovering still from Tommy John, won't be ready till probably the middle of next year. Steven Matz, no. Hey, Eugenio Suarez reached on an error by DJ. First error in 69 games for LeMahieu. And that's a base hit. Bird's going to go first to third. And Cincinnati is having an inning. 7 hits in the inning for the Reds.
And it started all with a bunt. That's how this inning started, and then the overturn of the call at first base. Change up. It still stays above the knees. It didn't have that sharp downward bite. Suarez hits it in between DJ and Tulo.
Well, the good news is Johnny Cueto's coming up. He's the 9th man to hit in the inning for Cincinnati. Cueto's another one of those guys. Always seems to play with a smile on his face. And that pitch misses. Home plate umpire tonight is Littleton's own Bob Davidson. Hunter Wendelstedt's the crew chief. Hunter's at first. Marvin Hudson at second. Pat Hoberg's at third. First and third, 2 outs. And once again, a bunt attempt. Johnny tried to bunt his way on his first time up.
Already 61 pitches for Chris. Most of them have come this inning.
Well, he's very good the first 2 innings. He's hit a speed bump here in the third. It's the 30th pitch of the inning. And it's ball 2. Johnny Cueto's name's mentioned in all kinds of trade rumors. So is Cole Hamels. Cubs were linked to Cole Hamels, and they probably wish they made the deal earlier today.
Yesterday, so he didn't come back and throw a no-hitter against you.
Yeah, if you missed that, Cole Hamels threw a no-hitter at Wrigley Field late this afternoon. 13th no-hitter in Phillies history. The first no-hitter at Wrigley Field since '72, and Milt Pappas twirled the no-hitter. He was Dougie's favorite player growing up, Milt Pappas.
7,920 games.
Swung on and missed, and that will finally end the inning. 9 come to bat for Cincinnati. 4 scored, 3 on the 3-run shot by Todd Frazier. 4-0 Cincinnati, middle of 3. Rockies down 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Who wants tacos? If the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. So the Rockies in an unenviable position. You're down 4 runs against a guy who doesn't give up many in Johnny Cueto. And the Rockies will have Nick Hundley, Chris Russin, and then Charlie Blackmon here in the third.
And also a guy that's coming off, for him at least, a couple poor outings in a row.
And one of them had to do with a start and stop deal because of a long rain delay. Prior to that, he threw an absolute gem against the Nationals.
It was a real nice start. The one that he went 9 innings. Yeah, that's really good. 2 hits given up, no runs.
The 1-1.
There was the tee-on. Saw the first Louis tee-on shoulder turn, back turn. And here it is. Comes up, twist. That's why you never know what kind of motion you're going to get from Cueto.
Boy, that ball's squared up, but it's right at Billy Hamilton. One gone. Chris Russin will take his turn. Two years ago, or actually last year, Cueto won 20 games. In 2012, he won 19 games. Almost a strikeout per inning pitch this year. Russin quickly behind 0-2. Last year, 243 and 2/3 innings. That's a boatload of innings. He struck out 242. Led the league.
And he's only walked 28 guys this year, 6 in his last start.
Let's check in quickly with Spilly. Spilly, what do you have?
All right, thanks, Drew. I'm in the Rockies vision right now, and I'm about to start Charlie Blackmon's song. Here we go. I think I did it right. And part of what's more fun for me, yes, it is fun for me to do that, but what's fun is to watch Charlie Blackmon and the evolution of what he's become. I really feel like this year he's better off than he was last year as far as his all-star, but what has made him so good? He's taking more pitches per plate appearance. That's an upgrade, but he's also swinging at more strikes. He's swinging at less balls outside the zone, and when he gets those pitches, he's making a better rate of contact. That is why Charlie is much better off this year, and it shows. Second in the National League since July 4th. How about that?
Well, Spilly, did Walt ask you to pinch hit or something later on potentially?
Yeah, if they need me, I'm always available.
Oh,
Come on. You know I'm a pinch hitter by life.
Well, I'm looking at that wristband that you have, the forearm band.
Well, we'll talk about this later. This is a little vintage wristband action. Some of the guys on the field tonight are wearing them. I'll get back to you on that one. That's a tease.
Just make sure you don't take Cam's job.
No, Cam's over here. He's great. And by the way, when they let me during rain delays, I come up here and I change the song. Do I not?
He does. He does. He's the best. Spilly's the best.
Oh,
Cam,
come on.
hey, listen,
Cam, I think you are.
Hey, listen, we can't have a Gaucho and a kid from Santa Clara in the same breathing space right now.
Sure you can. Look at, we're turning it on. Next thing, we'll do something different.
Cam's an old big right-hander from Santa Clara. Good pitcher. Johnny Cueto and the Reds up 4-0. Spilly, thank you. 7th of the year. It'll be Billy Hamilton leading off in the 4th inning. He led off the 3rd with a bunt single, initially called out. They took a look at it, and it was overturned. With every challenge called, Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome of love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Walt Weiss, Tommy Runnels looking on. Hamilton, despite both corners being in, laid down a perfect bunt. Chris Ruffson did a wonderful job getting to it, firing to Ben Paulson. Bang, bang, again called out by Hunter Wendelstedt, but overruled when they went to replay. One ball, one strike on Hamilton.
156 plate appearances, hitting in the 9th spot.
And he tried to push a bunt there. Tell you what, that thing wasn't fouled by a ton. The way Billy runs, that'd have been double territory. You'd have seen a bunt double.
Alex Cole had that type of speed. He was fast, maybe not quite as fast as Billy. But just you see him coming to the plate and you're going, oh man, I got to catch it, get rid of it. And now again, the base hit. He puts the pressure back on the Rockies.
Well, let's go back to Chicago. The Phillies and Cubs earlier today. Cole Hamels. Watch this final out of the no-hitter. Chris Bryant hits one to deep center field.
Herrera. Adubel Herrera
overran it and then had to come back with the glove laying on the warning track. He made the catch.
He just wanted to get on all the highlight reels.
Brandon Phillips swings and misses. 0-1. You got Hamilton at first, a 4-run lead for the Reds. They're 24-10 when Billy Hamilton scores a run. He scored in the 3rd inning. Two-strike count. This spot in the order has been a problem for the Reds all year. Their on-base percentage out of the one hole is .283, which is 28th in baseball. They got 7 different players lead off for them this year. Mostly Phillips and Hamilton, but Cozart's been there, Schumacher, Negron, De Jesus, Brandon Bosch.
And they wonder why Joey Votto's RBI numbers are down. Not having anybody get on base in front of him. He has 47, but people are always, oh, he needs to do more. Well, it's hard when there's nobody out there. For Brandon Phillips, this is the 44th game he's hit in the leadoff spot. And he has a .291 on base percentage there.
0-2 on Brandon Phillips out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Cubs sending out a tweet, tip of the cap to Cole Hamels.
The interesting thing about Sandy Koufax's perfect game is just 3 weeks prior to that, they were no hit by Jim Maloney. The Cubs were.
Tough stretch. Well, when we were in Los Angeles earlier this year, Dodgers had Old Timers Day. Sandy Koufax, the last one announced. He got a thunderous and long ovation. And Jeff Torborg, old friend, was there. And Jeff, of course, caught Sandy's perfect game. And he said, I've never been more nervous in my life than the final couple of innings.
Remember what Vince Scully was saying about that? That he could probably get out a line of what he wanted to say about Sandy Koufax before everybody started cheering and he could never finish.
Yeah, that was You know, that was great. And Vin told us something else that day, that with all these former greats, the Dodgers are such a historic franchise, that when he does the announcements at Old Timers Day, when they go out and play the 2-3 inning game, he always goes inside because he wants to remember them as they were as opposed to as they are now, at least from a playing standpoint. Hamilton, huge jump, and it's on the ground, foul. I don't know if you ever, Billy Hamilton is so fast, I don't know if you ever look and go, boy, here we got a bad jump.
Because for him, he gets to top speed after one stride. Ricky Henderson would get to top speed after one stride. Other guys, it takes them a little bit to build into it. But not for Billy. He's also improved his stolen base percentage from last year to this year by about 16%.
Swung on and missed. Russin wins that battle with Phillips.
Went to the changeup. Excuse me, that was a hard slider on the Subaru Supermo. Got Brandon Phillips to drop to that back knee. Missed it. Anyway, he's out. Hey, individual game suites and party facilities are still available for the regular season. Call 303 Rockies to check availability today.
Votto 1 for 2. Singled in a run last inning. Hamilton in the minor leagues 3 years ago at 3 different levels stole a combined 155 stolen bases. .155 out of 192. Imagine 192 stolen base attempts.
And I'm sure what they did was say to him, okay, we're never going to give you the steal sign. You're going to have the green light the whole time, so you got to learn what you need to do. If you get thrown out, that's okay. This is a growth process. So when you make it to the major leagues, you've understood pitchers, you've read sequences.
Jim Riggleman,
former manager of the Washington Nationals. Longtime baseball coach, manager.
And a foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, since the All-Star break, Joey Votto hitting .548, second best batting average to guy we were talking about earlier,
Jeff Francoeur.
Jeff Francoeur. The on-base percentage, slugging percentage. Last night he had 3 hits. Tonight he's 1 for 2. 2-1. Votto had been very quiet against the Rockies until last night. 5 for his previous 45 against Colorado pitching. Hamilton takes off, chance to get him, and the throw misses Tulowitzki. It goes into left field, and on the throwing error by Paulson, his first error of his big league career, Hamilton is now at third base. Speed makes you play faster sometimes than you need to or want to.
Because what Ben has to do, he has to lead Troy going to the bag because of where he is positioned to start. I think it might have been easier for Nolan to get there, at least an easier throw for Ben to hit Nolan moving to the bag than it is for Troy. So you don't see Troy into the picture until the last minute because of the shift that you had. And for Ben, that's his 73rd game in the major leagues in just his first error.
strikeout here would be large. 2-2 on Votto. To short. Tulo stares down Hamilton. Here he comes. Throw to the plate. Out at the plate. What a throw by Paulson.
They've already challenged once with the speed of Billy Hamilton. They're going to be on the phone looking at this.
They want to challenge this one also. That's a tough play for Tulowitzki. You've been in that situation, infield in. I mean, Hamilton's baiting him, and Troy, you can't wait that long. You got a guy running out of the right side, or the left side of the box, who runs decently in Votto.
And he faked him twice, and then he threw a fastball over to first base. The quick transfer. So Troy looks. Nolan's going back to the bag. He keeps looking, throw, and then coming home. Now did his left hand get in? That's what they're going to be looking at.
Time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes. See if we can get a good angle on this one. Oh, he's safe. Yeah, he's safe by a lot.
He's going to come back again to the speed of Billy Hamilton.
5-0 Cincinnati. Votto on the ground out. Has 2 ribbies tonight. And Billy Hamilton, think about it, stolen base, forced an error there, and then scores on a ground ball to short with the infield in. You have one of the best arms in baseball from Tulowitzki. You have a guy who can throw it first in Paulson. Everybody did everything right, and Hamilton was still safe.
Speed just outran the baseball. That's all it was. Billy Hamilton, he starts to go back, looking, and then he just outruns everything.
Two strikes on Frazier, who hit the opposite field 3-run home run just over the auxiliary scoreboard in right. Last inning.
44th run scored for Billy Hamilton.
Strike 3 inside corner. That'll end the inning. But Billy Hamilton making his way around the bases with that unbelievable speed of his. 5-0 Reds. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Fusion. Power you on and good looks too. Ford, go further. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Rockies won last night 6-5. Tonight they find themselves down 5-0. Johnny Cueto's allowed one hit, and Nolan Arenado punched single to right in the second inning. LeMahieu, Tulowitzki, Gonzalez against Cueto in the fourth.
That's really all you need to do for Johnny Cueto, to give him that kind of lead. The type of pitcher he is, an all-star type, 20-game winner, as you mentioned, last year.
He was runner-up to Kershaw on the Cy Young voting last year. Not that he was going to win that. Kershaw took every trophy home. MVP, Cy Young. 1-2.
With all his motion, and we chronicled his fastball, we still haven't talked about his changeup. Spilly mentioned it, how he's got a devastating changeup. He really hasn't had to throw it yet.
And this ball in the air to shallow center. Hamilton's got it. Johnny made his debut at 22 for the Reds. He faced the Arizona Diamondbacks April 3rd, 2008. He allowed a run on one hit in his debut, struck out 10, did not walk a batter. That was a prelude of good things to go, or to come, going forward. First year he went 9-14. Tulo bounces this one to Frazier. 2 outs. Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. Cargo last night, 2 home runs, his 11th multi-home run game of his career. And the thing that we were discussing 24 hours ago, the number of home runs that are real important home runs.
That right there, 75 out of 152. Just shy of half the home runs.
Cargo leading the National League. You saw the bottom of the graphic in home runs since June 5th with 12. Nolan second with 11, and then you have Frazier, Gonzalez, Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Kemp, and Giancarlo Stanton with 10 each. This is interesting. He's hit more home runs against the Central than the West, and you know, being in the West, you're going to play teams in the West far more. 2-1.
It'd be 33 in the Central, 32 in the West, and then 20 in the National League East. That's in the last 5 seasons for Carlos.
2-1, and this is to shallow center, and a drop for a base hit. Second hit for the Rockies. That will allow Arenado to hit here in the fourth. Nolan, again, the only other knock, kind of a push single down the first base line. Johnny Cueto in the middle of his 5th consecutive season with a sub-3 ERA.
San Pedro in the Dominican Republic used to be the place for shortstops to come out of.
He's picked up a nickname the last couple of years. You know what it is, right? This ball hammered but foul. Well, think of that Cleveland Browns quarterback that's had a rough time of late.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel. What's Johnny known as?
Johnny Football.
Johnny Cueto known as Johnny
Baseball.
Baseball.
I've been to a winter ball game in San Pedro. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, 1 line to right center field. Hamilton will get back and make the play. That'll end the inning. Cargo left aboard. 4 innings complete. The Reds have all the runs. 5-0. Followed through the first two, ran into problems in the third. Todd Frazier's 100th career home run, a 3-run shot, 4 runs, 7 hits in that third inning, and then Billy Hamilton created another run last inning. Johnny Cueto has thrown just 46 pitches in 4 innings. Top of the 5th, the Rockies trailing 5-zip. With Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. Jay Bruce will lead things off, the cleanup man for Cincinnati. 250 average coming in for Bruce out of Beaumont, Texas. Just popped up and out of play down the left field line. Still bright out. One and two on Bruce. Talked about the fact that Frazier just hit his 100th career home run. Bruce is closing in on a milestone home run. He's 3 away from 200, and that's a base hit to left.
Also his 971st career hit. Well, tomorrow's the 11th annual Faith Day at Coors Field with Michael W. Smith as this year's musical guest. Visit Rockies.com/faithday to purchase tickets.
Bruce with those 197 home runs, 10th on the Reds all-time list.
No.
Brian Pena steps up. Who do you think's number 1?
Hold on a second. Not 971 home runs, 971 hits. 107.
Did I say 971?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a lot of
home runs.
runs.
That's a lot of home runs. Yeah, if you count all the ones he had in Little League. There's 1, there's 2. Nicely done. 1-6-3 on that double play. 197 home runs, 10th on the list. We'll get to the rest of the names in a moment. Let's take a look again at that DP.
Well, and this was an issue in the last game in Chris's start. He had 2 opportunities to make a throw to second base to start a double play, and he didn't really make good throws. This time he does. Troy's able to catch it, keep his foot on the bag, clear himself from the runner, and then get Pena by a step on the Subaru Supermo.
So who do you think's number 1? Think of the Reds. I will tell you, they don't have a guy who's hit 400 home runs in their uniform. And Frank Robinson played for them, over 500 home runs, but obviously not.
It's got to be somebody from the Big Red Machine era.
Yep. 1-1 on Marlon Byrd.
Tony Perez or Johnny Bench, somebody like that.
Johnny Bench is number 1. Bruce is 10. Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer, 198's 9th. Eric Davis hit 203 in a Reds uniform. He's 8. The Bench is number 1. Nolan gathering speed and then fires it across. So a quiet inning from Cincinnati's perspective. That's a good thing. Rockies down 5-0.
about the nostalgia, and you can see these wristbands he's wearing. It brought me back to my youth. Here's the sound on what he has to say about it.
It's cool just to see everybody really wearing them, because us growing up when we was little kids, you saw Dale Strawberry, Barry Bonds, Barry Larkin was my favorite player growing up. Just seeing those guys with those wristbands. And also, it just feels good just to be able to go back in time and wear the same things that we grew up on.
Tulo was the first one to have them on the team, and I saw it. I was like, man, that was awesome. Then I got in touch with James in L.A., and he just said, I'll make you some if you want some. And he did, and they're awesome, and they're old school. My dad loves them. All my uncles and all my parents and uncles and grandparents, they all love them because it's real old school.
And I love him as well. I grew up in a day where all my favorite players wore it. And it started 1986. James Mims was friends with Dusty Baker, came up with an idea to personalize some wristbands, took off 110 players later, 10 Hall of Famers, Tony Gwynn, Frank Thomas, and now Brandon Phillips brought it back. I love seeing it. It's pretty sweet when you have these type of things where it brings back the old school and new school, and you got to love stuff like that when it comes full circle in baseball.
I just had an image in my mind somewhere on a river in a quiet place. Dusty Baker's got the 2 wristbands on. He's fly fishing right now.
For sure, and he has his own face on his wristband. I think that's cool with his autograph on it. How cool is that?
Remember, he used to have the wristbands when he was managing.
That's why I said that.
Yeah,
he's got the toothpick going also.
It's funny. So I actually talked to James today and was telling him, as a kid, I used to take white wristbands and draw my own self on it and play Little League games on it. And so after talking to him, hearing about other stories, he says he's going to make me one. I think he's going to do a broadcast booth, though, one with the tie and everything.
Sweet.
That is
cool.
Make sure you get extras, Billy, so we can have some, too.
Yeah, you got
so we can wear them up here.
This is off the end of the bat. It's going to drop, base hit for Corey Dickerson.
Make that 19 for 43 career for Corey. He'd come into the game hitting .429 against Cincinnati.
He's got 2 of the Rockies' 3 hits in the game. Excuse me, let me correct that. He has 1. Arenado has 1. Cargo has 1. Ben Paulson coming up. He lined out to short. Cueto will be a free agent at the end of the year. Yeah, if you think back to all the guys who have been rumored to move around this time and how many actually do, it's far less than the rumors would have you believe.
Yeah, but that's what they are, rumors. Anybody can start them.
Yeah.
Hey, let's trade this guy for that guy. Sounds good. We'll go ahead.
Johnny Cueto's 29. In free agency, he figures to sign a very, very lucrative deal.
29. He's still kind of in the prime of his pitching. I don't think he'll get a 7-year deal like Scherzer got. But still, I could easily 5 years.
Probably 5 times 20, wouldn't you think?
Minimum.
One, two, fouled off by Paulson.
Becomes, if you are going to trade for him, how much do you give up for a player that you're going to have for maybe 10 or 11 starts? You think he can help you get over that hurdle, get you to the playoffs, and then you give up a lot.
You know, the other factor is, does the team that trades for him, if he is in fact traded, do they pick up some of his deal? If they pick up all of it, you're going to get, you know, you ask and will receive better players in return. Votto comes up with that, and Cueto covers first and a good return throw. 3-6-1 double play.
And Johnny Cueto was asking for the ball as he was running over to first base, telling the shortstop Suarez that go ahead and throw it. I've got this. I'll be at the bag. So just watch Cueto as he's starting to go over. He's saying right now, I'm here. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'll be at the bag. Now, he almost lost in the sun. I'll give him that, but at least he was letting the shortstop know, because the shortstop at times will go, well, is the first baseman going to get back there? Do I throw to the pitcher? Do I split the difference? What do I do? Cueto let him know, throw it to me, I'll be there.
Nick Conley lined to center field his first time up. 2 outs, nobody on. If the inning is extended, Drew Stubbs will pinch hit. Fly ball to right. Jay Bruce waiting. That's all for the Rockies in the 5th inning. Rockies have not touched second base in this ball game. They trail 5-0. Inning. Find the latest Albuquerque Isotopes jerseys, t-shirts, novelties, and much more at abqisotopes.com. Albuquerque Isotopes, the proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. A lot of good-looking stuff. You know what happened earlier today? Check this out. Down in Albuquerque, that's our old friend from Philadelphia, Charlie Manuel, got inducted into the Albuquerque Professional Baseball Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Charlie. Always came off as a guy that, oh shucks,
folksy.
That's an apt description for him. But he was baseball through and through.
Yeah, he was baseball smart and just a fun guy to visit with. Gonzalez Germain will take the baseball for the Rockies here in the 6th inning, and Eugenio Suarez will be first. 7, 8, and 9. Johnny Cueto's on deck here in the top of the 6th inning, and the first pitch misses ball 1 on Suarez. Reached on an error and also singled so far.
For Gonzalez, 1/3 of an inning in the Texas series, gave up a couple earned runs, but that snapped a scoreless streak that he had of 6 1/3 innings.
Wow, fastball's outside, 2-0. 3-0. Rio's in there, 3-1. See if Germain can come all the way back.
Or does he come back with the changeup?
Challenge him. He did. Ground ball to short. Tulo on the backhand. Over the top. 1 out.
Always a fun night. It's Star Wars night. It's back for the 2015 season on Saturday, August 22nd, Drew, with the pregame parade for fans in costume. So purchase the Star Wars ticket package to receive the 2015 limited edition Star Wars night t-shirt.
May the force be with you.
On August 22nd against the Mets.
That's a nice little effect.
Like a lightsaber effect.
Johnny Cueto's 0 for 2.
That's a nice effect from Jared, our TD tonight.
Here's the 1-1, and that's down low. And Germain falls behind Cueto, 3-1.
Just doing some trunk twist.
Listen, for a guy that wasn't sure he was going to be a Cincinnati Red at about 10 minutes of 6 this evening, he's, you know, doing all the things we're used to him doing. He hits that fair and he jogs out the slow jog out of the batter's box, and he's retired.
Still trying to feel his hand at the end of his fingers. It's like, ow.
Wow, that hurt.
Why did I swing? Off the end of the bat. The only thing that'd make it worse if it was around 35 degrees instead of 85.
Brandon Phillips getting a kick out of it.
He really didn't even want to run. His hand was hurting. He says, I'm not getting paid to hit, I'm getting paid to pitch.
You know, when we talk about shortish right-handers, somehow he never gets mentioned. Johnny Cueto's 5'11". That's a shot from Billy Hamilton that skips past LeMahieu for a base hit. Billy Hamilton 3 for 3.
Give Cueto a few extra minutes to get the feeling back in the ends of his fingers. Now Billy Hamilton will put the oven mitt on. You'll see him put his batting gloves, and then he has an extra glove he puts on the outside. There it is. It's the oven mitt, so he can steal a bag or grab a pan out of the oven if he needs to, if it's too hot.
You never wore such a thing, did you?
I did not. He's wearing it to protect his fingers from jamming him or breaking him as he goes sliding headfirst into the bag.
One strike on Brandon Phillips. Careful throwing that changeup to first. Almost threw it too high. So Brandon Phillips was a second-round pick of the Expos back in '99. The Indians, Cleveland, acquired him with Lee Stevens, Cliff Lee, and Grady Sizemore for Bartolo Colon. Yes, that Bartolo Colon. And cash and a player to be named later, Tim Drew, the famous Drew baseball players out of South Georgia.
Also a first-round pick.
But the real bad deal was when Cleveland gave up on Brandon Phillips in '06 and traded him to the Reds for cash or a player to be named, and it became a player to be named, a right-handed pitcher by the name of Jeff Stevens, for a guy who's been a many-time All-Star and a foundation piece in Cincinnati for a decade.
You said Lee Stevens was part of that first trade. Lee's the hitting coach in Grand Junction for the Rockies.
Yep. 1-2. Phillips' top campaign from a home run standpoint was '07. He hit 30 home runs. Best RBI campaign 2013. He drove in 103. Batting average 2011 when he hit 300, right on the nose. 1-2, and it's hooked to left field. Dickerson's got it, and that's all for the Reds in the 6th. Middle of inning number 6. Cincinnati 5, the Rockies nothing. Back, Colorado's #1 volume Lexus dealer. 4 runs at the top of the 3rd for Cincinnati. Joey Votto, the single to center field, scored the first run. Billy Hamilton, and then Todd Frazier went oppo just over the auxiliary scoreboard, a 3-run shot. And then this was an interesting one. Hamilton took off despite the infield being in. He beat the throw from Paulson home, then made a perfect throw. Speed 1 out there. 5 runs for the Reds on 11 hits. No runs, 3 hits for the Rockies. They've committed 2 errors. Drew Stubbs is going to pinch hit here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Germain. It'll be Blackman and LeMahieu afterward. First pitch, and it's a high pop to right field, and it's going to drop. And Stubbs with the speed heading towards second, and he's out. Drew took a risk there, and Bruce made a perfect throw on the run. And Drew Stubbs is out. And that turns into a bad decision when you're down by 5 runs.
Yeah,
Drew trying to make something happen, I get it.
I get that, but you can't run into an out, especially when you haven't had much success against Johnny Cueto. You're coming off the bench, you pinch hit, he's running hard, but the play's right in front of Jay Bruce. It shows the arm strength. Then the easy tag by Suarez on the Subaru Super Mode. Drew doesn't even get to the bag.
So here's Charlie with 1 out, nobody on, a ground out and a strikeout. Charlie in the 9th inning reminded me of a story that Jason Giambi told about Rickey Henderson when Giambi was a rookie. Giambi came up and he wasn't the power hitter that he became. He was hitting in the 2 spot in the lineup behind, you know, the future Hall of Famer Rickey Henderson, and they were going to the bottom of the 9th inning with the A's, and it was a 4-4 ball game. And Rickey, in the on-deck circle before the inning started, turned to Giambi, and he said, because Rickey would refer to himself oftentimes, as people know in baseball, in the 3rd person, and he turned to a young Jason Giambi, who's, you know, a rookie frightened to death, and he said, Rickey not playing extra innings today.
This is not happening.
This ball's ripped to right. It's got to get down. It will not. Bruce makes the catch. And Giambi just looked at him and nodded. And he said, no, Rickey not playing extra innings. He said, Rickey's going to get a hit, and then you stand there, and I'm going to steal a couple bases, and then you hit a fly ball, and we're going home. And that's exactly what transpired, according to Giambi. Rickey got a base hit. Giambi stood up there. First pitch, he stole second. Second pitch, he stole third. And then, according to Jason, who could tell the story, he goes, I hit a ball like 220 feet. He said it was barely out of the infield. Rickey took off anyhow, beat the throw, home, ball game over.
So about a minute and a half later, they were showering and saying, okay, we won the ball game. That's it, 5-4. Let's go.
And Rickey walked off past Giambi. He said, I told you, Rickey not playing extra innings.
I told you so.
And that was like Charlie last night.
Laid down a bunt, steals second, advanced to third on the ground ball. And then first pitch, wild pitch, game over. Just the 2nd time in Rockies history that they've won on a wild pitch.
0-1 on LeMahieu, inside 1-1. This is the 3rd at bat for DJ. He's riding that 14-game hitting streak. 0 for 2.
There was the double shimmy.
And we laugh and have fun with it, but if you're at the plate, it just throws off when you get the foot down, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny as we're looking at it, but it's not funny when you're 60 feet 6 inches away. When do I start my motion? I've got to wait because I don't know how he's going to throw it. Is it going to be the quick pitch or the double or the Louis Tion?
Bruce near the fans down the right field line in foul territory makes the catch, and that's all for the Rockies in the 6th inning. To the 7th we go, 5-0 Reds.
The former fantasy campers from 2014. Bob Antis to my left, a wall to my right. So this is part about a week away from trade deadline. I wish I would have traded these guys when they were on my fantasy team last year, but some of the pressures that the guys like the Reds are going through, Brandon Phillips, you talk about Joey Votto, maybe the Johnny Cueto, and not only are they going through pressures? They're trying to play the game as best as they can without worrying about these things. So there was times when I was on the trade deadline, on the trading block, and you try not to look at the Twitter accounts, you try not to look at the MLB trade rumors, all these websites, because you just want to play for the team that you're wearing the actual uniform on. And for the guys out there right now, I know they're thinking about it, but you got to try to limit those distractions to just playing the baseball game, see the ball, hit the ball.
Well, I think that's the 3 hours that you're playing the game. That's the most peace you have. It's after the game with the report, everybody asking you, your friends, your family calling you up or texting you. And that's when you really start to worry.
Friedrich's first pitch lined to left center field by Joey Votto. And Joey Votto has his 36th multi-hit game of the year. That's the most in the National League.
Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead, Spilly. You want to ask him about fantasy camp?
Bob, you were in fantasy camp last year. Why don't you tell us the experience of it? Next year we're going to get Todd Helton, but what was it like having Garrett Atkins, Josh Fogg, Brian Fuentes as being one of your coaches?
It's really, really 5 great days of acting like a kid again, and it's so worthwhile. I went 1 year checking it off my bucket list, and then I said I'm not going to stop doing it. So this last year was my 3rd year. I'm coming back next year for the 4th year, because as long as I can keep playing, I'm not going to miss it.
Okay, well, as long as I have picks, I'm not going to pick you for next year, because you could not get a hit if your life depended on it. But next year, maybe for another team, you'll do better.
I think I will, and I'd rather play for a team. We won the championship this year, and you weren't on that team. So I'd rather play for those kinds of teams.
You know what, Spilly? Let me defend Bob here for a moment, okay? He told me privately that you were a horse bleep manager. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to throw him under the bus, in the interest of full disclosure, he didn't think you did a real good job managing the club.
That's true. I mean, you're right. Was I a good manager or a bad manager?
You were not my manager.
No, I know, Brian Fuentes, but on the other side of the field, did I manage my guys well?
I think you did very, very well, because when you bought them drinks at the bar, they spoke well of you.
See, that's what good managers do, Drew.
You sound a whole lot like Billy Martin. Thank you, Spilly. And thanks, Bob. Hey, sign up now. Fantasy camp right around the corner. Todd Helton will be there this year as well. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Rockies have got to get it going offensively, trailing the Reds 5-0. Tulowitzki, Gonzalez, Arenado against Johnny Cueto. who's allowed just 4 singles in the game. The Rockies have not reached second base.
He's also 16 for 21 in first pitch strikes, just 69 pitches thrown. Whatever trade value there was for Johnny, and it was pretty high to begin with, it's gone even higher tonight. Be able to separate the distractions and come out, just pitch like he's doing.
On Tulowitzki. Johan Flande throwing in the Rockies bullpen. This ball hit in the air to left field and deep. Going back, Bird, and in front of the wall, he'll make the catch. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. You can do that this evening. Promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. And with one out, Cargo will come up. A line out to left field, and then a single to center. Cargo has one of the 4 hits for the Rockies. Arenado, Dickerson, and Stubbs, the other 3 gentlemen with a hit tonight. Cargo takes. Down the line, foul. Off, out of play, down the third base line. 2-2 on Carlos. Cargo batting .344 in July. Hit .280 in June. Slowly hit to short. Frazier's the only guy on the left side, and that's the second out.
You want to make sure you get to the ballpark early tomorrow, as the first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a Nolan Arenado Gold Glove bobblehead courtesy of King Soopers. And first thing I noticed with the bobblehead was that obviously the Gold Glove, but also the purple pinstripes.
Yeah, they do have purple pinstripes there.
Yeah, so this is what you're going to get first 10,000 through the gates tomorrow.
Purple spikes too. Be careful.
Ow.
Yeah, see? And Nolan just got hit. You hate when guys get hit in the hands.
Hands and the wrists. Those are the 2 areas that not only concern the trainer and the manager, but the player.
That's a good sign, though. The fact that he's bending all the digits, literally 20 seconds after he got hit.
But then you still have to go through the whole process of the trainer grabbing that area, pushing down. Does this hurt? Then squeeze my hand. It's a running fastball. Glances off the top of the hand. But still, when that hand's holding the bat, no matter how glancing that may seem, it still puts the pressure on the back of the hand because there's nowhere for it to go. So the force goes into the bat.
So with 2 outs, Nolan at first base, Corey Dickerson 1 for 2 for Corey. Three for 5 and a walk in his return from the disabled list. Corey shares something in common sort of with Billy Hamilton. Both are from Mississippi, and both had opportunities to play at Mississippi State. Billy had an opportunity to play football and baseball there. They wanted him as a wide receiver. And at a junior college, Corey had an opportunity to go play at Mississippi State. Outside 1 and 2.
Just remember that team with Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro, and Bobby Thigpen.
They batted they batted 3-4-5. I mean, everybody remembers Thigpen as a pitcher, reliever, but Bobby Thigpen could hit for Ron Polk in his years in Starkville.
Thigpen, 50-something saves in 1 year with the White Sox. 57.
Big swing from Dickerson. No baseball, and Cueto has struck out Corey. And that ends the 7th inning. 5-0 Cincinnati. Of the game, let's see what we have here. This is John Bevel. It looks like, is John with his dad? Looks like a father-son deal. Yeah, that's great. Like fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, moms and sons, moms and daughters at the ballpark. Another great weekend crowd. And we've been joined by a dad right now, Ryan Spilborghs. Did you have a good weekend so far?
I had a great weekend so far. Yeah. Living life the way it's meant to be with your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want one of these, don't you?
I do.
I want the one with your picture on it, though. That's what I'm waiting for.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, talking.
You get us all. Listen.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you had a broadcasting wristband?
Yeah, I mean, if you there's been some times it's cold up here. We need
it.
The
other thing, Drew needs it like a football player where he can kind of flip it over, kind of remind him what, stats.
Yeah,
or what we're talking about.
What is OPS plus? Yeah, I get that. That'd be sweet.
Right, that's the definition again. See? Hey, by the way, fantasy camp, and I know both of you guys do a great job coaching down there. Some do better than others.
Well, 2 years ago we were together. We came in last, and they split us up last year.
Who was our first pick that year?
Was it Bob?
No.
Oh, it was Drew.
It was
yeah,
Drew.
and he had 5 errors the first game or 4 errors. That's right.
You remember that?
Listen.
This is your story.
This is my story, okay?
Go ahead, finish.
Whatever you guys are fabricating over there. I'll tell that on a different broadcast. But anyhow, we went out and we talked to a fan or two about some of your motivational speeches at fantasy camp as a manager. And we're going to, look at one here coming up. Come on.
Zip it.
Zip it. That was your third. That was your third baseman, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's like, shh. You know what? Lou Dunlap was here today, and Lou was the one with the real inspirational speeches. And I tried to find him, but he was in the sun for too much of the game. He's 88 years old, so next year when he shows up, his jersey was 88.
He has to be 89, I assume, next year.
And he's already said that he wants to play after that so he can come back and get number 90 on his jersey.
You know what? Lou's got to get more ambitious. I want to see him with the 3 digits out there on the back of the jersey, and Lou could do it.
Lou, this offseason, gave me a phone call, and out of the blue, he goes, Spilly, I want to come back next year and be the most improved player. Last year, he won every single award you could possibly give to a player at fantasy camp. MVP, most inspirational. So I was like, what are you trying to win?
He's trying to take all the hardware
So
home.
he wanted to find a place because he said at the home that he's living at with all the people that he's been with, they don't have a batting cage and they don't have a place for him to field ground balls. So we're still working on that one, Lou.
But they came and they have a reunion game here, and they played this morning at 8:30, and Lou got a base hit up the middle.
Of course, so he's gotten better.
Yes, he said, just so you know, my wheels are still there.
They're still there. Yeah, he's improving. Yep.
Listen, Lou, 9 a.m. BP every day until we take off in early February.
It was so much fun. Fantasy camp, folks. If you get a chance, you gotta go.
Well, this year, Todd Helton's going to be the big name. That's the big guy that's going to be there.
Pena strikes out against Flande. Marlon Bird coming up. Let's take a quick look at the numbers for Johan. It's his 7th appearance this year.
Well, and for Johan, too, he's got that toughest role out in the bullpen because you're the long guy, so you have to be ready every single night, maybe the first or second inning, but then you could sit for 7 or 8 days before you get out there. Johan never complained. He said, yeah, this is what my role is, and I accept it.
Now, the story of the ball game, fellas, has obviously been Johnny Cueto. He's got a 4-hit shutout going. And, Spilly, I know you noticed this also. Before the game, Michael Lorenzen started warming up because there are wild trade rumors that, and obviously serious ones, because the Reds are controlling this. They had Lorenzen warming up just in case because they were evidently very close to trading Johnny Cueto before the ball game. It didn't happen. You would not know that by Cueto's performance. He's been, as he has a good time out on the hill. He's been the same guy tonight that we've seen throughout his career. Most guys wouldn't handle things that calmly.
Not that calmly at all. And you guys already mentioned the Ubaldo game, and that was one of the hardest things I've had to watch as a former teammate, is watching Ismael Rogers run down. And this was when the Padres still had the visiting bullpen was on the field. So Rogers had to run down the first baseline, past the Padres, past Ubaldo, who just walked the first guy, and start warming up. And it was, I can only imagine what it goes like through not only the pitcher's head, but if something like that happens, you don't see it too often.
Were you in the lineup that night?
I was not. I was sitting.
What was it like on the bench that evening as that was unfolding in the first inning?
It was uncomfortable, to say the least. It was just one of those things where, or is he traded? Is he part of the team? Because it's hard to watch that to a friend of yours go through.
Good throw. Nice little pick at first by Paulson. And there are 2 outs as Bird is retired. And that'll bring up Eugenio Suarez.
Well, I said it last half inning. Whatever trade value he had, it was pretty high. It's just gone off the charts now with this performance. Because the last thing you think about is makeup. And there's never been a question about his. It's always been at the top. But now it's got to put it way up there.
It's got to. And whatever people had ideas, because I know they were worried about his elbow. That's why he missed his start. I don't see any elbow fatigue. I know he's had shoulder issues in the past, but he's also corrected those by changing his mechanics with Brian BP down on the manager, Brian Price on the bench. So if there's any questions about the type of player and pitcher he is there, I mean, not that one game makes a big difference, but this is he's gone through a lot tonight at Coors Field, and doing what he's done has been impressive.
Flande pours that one in there. It's 1-1 on Suarez. When you think of the two guys that have been most prominently named as potential guys who are going to move that are big name pitchers, Hamels goes out and throws a no-no today against a team he may have been rumored to go to, the Cubs. They were about 8 hours late. And Johnny Cueto has done what he's done so far in this ball game.
Just the difference between the two. Cueto's a free agent at the end of this year. Cole Hamels is still under contract for a couple more years.
And that always brings up the argument of, do you want a rental player for the playoff push, and what is that value? And I think when teams are looking at a Johnny Cueto, understanding that he is going to go into his free agent year, what type of prospects am I willing to give for 2 months of this guy?
Flande with a strong inning, 1-2-3 in the 8th, a couple of punch outs. See if the Rockies can get something going against Cueto. 5-0 Cincinnati. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price, sales and service guaranteed. View of the Platte River this evening. Saturday night, more than 41,000. In fact, two folks shy of 42,000 at Coors Field. With Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs, I'm Drew Goodman, and an off-speed pitch to Ben Paulson, and it's 0-1. That's just the 85th bullet tonight from Johnny Cueto. He has been most efficient.
Just 26 balls thrown.
You know what? He's moving his fastball in every quadrant. He throws 5 different pitches. He's not throwing as hard as he used to when you faced him, Spilly, but he's just as effective.
Well, and this little, how he just changes the hitter's tempo at the plate is what makes him so difficult to hit. He goes fastball, he's got the plus changeup, and then he can move it in and out. Part of what people don't understand, yes, velocity is great. 95 miles an hour above hitter's velocity. But if you can locate and change hitter's timings, you already got, and he's walking off the mound, I don't know why.
He's just mad.
But if you can just change hitter's timing and you can locate your fastball, you're in a much better spot than a guy that just throws 95. Yeah, you can see he wanted that pitch right on the corner and he missed it. I still love seeing that type of emotion on the mound.
I do too. Think about the pitches he's thrown this inning. He started off with the changeup, 80 miles an hour. That last changeup was 82. He's throwing a cutter at 87, and also a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It's just the third 3-ball count tonight for Cueto.
That's inside, so Paulson draws a walk. It's the first allowed by Johnny tonight.
You can follow the Rockies with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live Rockies baseball. At bat is up to the minute with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. Follow the Rockies on your phone.
I think talking before the game with Nolan about what's it like facing Cueto, and he says, you know what, the fastball isn't anything I haven't seen before, but something as simple, every single pitch he does not give in.
Also notice he's moved it around tonight in all 4 quadrants. You know, he's pitched up when he's had to, but he's also been down, away, in. So if I as a hitter only have to cover maybe 2 of the 4 quadrants, that's tough enough as it. Now I got to cover all 4.
Yeah, exactly. And you also know that if you get in a certain count, 2-0 count, 2-1 count, typically a fastball count, 3-1. When I say he's not going to give in to the hitter, he is not going to give a pitch. He's not going to throw a cookie for you to just get the swing off. The fastball's not coming. He's got the changeup. And like you said, if you can pitch to 4 quadrants, it makes it so difficult to pick your spot.
Just misses on the 0-2 pitch. 1-2 on Nick. Nick actually has had 2 good at-bats against Cueto. He hadn't had many bad at-bats all year. Really made some terrific strides offensively.
Oh, he was just thinking of the center of the field. He lined out to center field, pretty deep fly ball to right field his last at bat.
Came into the ball game hitting .306. Good eye. 2-2.
Cueto saying that's not outside.
Yeah, he's talking to Bob Davidson. That was a good call by Bob. If you look at the 4th strike zone.
Just because a catcher sets up and you hit his glove doesn't mean it's necessarily a strike. He's hoping that you bite for it.
Sometimes pitchers get frustrated with catchers. I'm not saying this is the case with Brian Pena. When they set up off the plate and you square them up, and you say, well, I hit the target, you squared him up, but guess what? You were set up off the plate, so it's not a strike. They prefer you to, it's almost like you're setting the guy up for failure as opposed to setting up on the black. You set up 4 inches off the plate and you square him up. Nice job, but it's still not a strike.
Yeah, and I've seen so many times where you hit the guy right in the glove, right where you want to, and it gets called the ball. You can see the body language instantly, head down. That's a strike 3 on Nick Hundley. He got the changeup right there. You're right. It's frustrating for a pitcher when he's hitting his spots and they're being called balls.
Cueto has controlled the Rockies' timing all night, but it's just his 4th strikeout. Typically, Cueto strikes out a hitter per inning. 1 out, and Willeen Rosario will pinch hit. Conversation's going to take place right now. J.J. Hoover's in the Reds bullpen just in case. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special, and the Rockies score 7 or more runs.
That wasn't to buy Hoover some time to get loose in the bullpen because the pitching coach jogged out to the mound. That was a strategy move. Jeff Pico, the pitching coach for the Reds.
Willeen pops this one up to shallow right. Long run for Jay Bruce. And he makes the catch. That'll bring up Charlie Blackmon. Charlie 0 for 3. You know, Charlie had a solid first 45 games or so this year. But his last 46 hitting .337. And his on-base percentage close to .400. That's not a small sample size. That's more than a quarter of the season.
He put so much effort in spring training to start taking more pitches, and I think his biggest evolution is being not only taking more pitches but swinging at strikes, not swinging outside the zone.
That's because his strikeout rate then has fallen. I mean, not striking out as much. You go down the list between the first 2 months, the last two, you're talking about almost the same number of games. But look at the batting average, the on-base percentage. 17 multi-hit games, that'll help creep that average up.
And fellas, he's the ultimate grinder physically and mentally. In his preparation, we all see it when we pass through the clubhouse, the work he does with the video, and it's not eye-wash stuff. I mean, he's looking at times to the plate, he's looking at pitchers' moves to get a feel for the base running aspect, and then he'll look at how a pitcher works to certain left-handed hitters to get an idea of how he's going to be pitched to that evening.
You can always find him right in that video room, and you know exactly what time he is in. Certain guys have these unbelievable routines, and Tulowitzki was talking about it during the 41 consecutive game hit streak, how he was so dedicated to the routine, how he was so focused on just trying, because Alex Rodriguez, he told him, was trying to be focused for every single pitch, and Tulo felt that was a challenge. If he can do it, I can do it, and you can see the difference when guys go up there, focus every at bat.
Well, Johnny Cueto strikes out Charlie. Second strikeout of the inning, 5 in the game. Cueto has been very good.
As we get ready for the Toyota postgame show coming your way from center field. And with that, we have a quick topical for you. Jason.
Johnny, be good.
Corey.
Billy, be fast.
And you know what? Spilly, be in the clubhouse. That's what we have for you guys tonight.
I thought they were going to say Spilly, be bad.
No. Spilly, be in the clubhouse.
Okay.
Well, they hit that right on the nail on the head with Johnny and Billy. I mean, that's really been the difference in the game tonight. Johnny Cueto starting it out on the hill, and Billy with his speed.
I have not seen a player that fast. And when you guys said yesterday about Chapman versus Hamilton and Chapman potentially beating Hamilton in a 60-yard sprint, it blew my mind, because on the field there's very few players that really change the game on the base paths, and you have to be smart. But I've seen Billy Hamilton so far this year steal third base on a ball thrown back to the pitcher. And tonight it made a big difference, not only making errors, but getting on base in that 9th spot and that momentum-changing play at home plate. But can you imagine Chapman running the bases?
I started here when he first got to the big leagues from Cuba. You heard what a marvelous athlete he was, and people started talking about, you got to see this guy run. And you got to see him take BP. And he's never going to hit, obviously, and he's never going to run, but they kept talking about it. And so I felt like it was necessary to ask, who's faster, him or Billy Hamilton? And Brandon Phillips said, here's the deal. He goes in a 40. He goes, Billy, because he's so quick, would get him in a 40. He goes, but I would put my money on Chapman in a 60 because of his stride length. He goes, he would go get him. Isn't that amazing?
Even if they're just in the same conversation, that's amazing.
Yes. Rafael Betancourt's in the ball game now, and pinch hitter for Johnny Cueto. Skip Schumacher, one of the top pinch hitters in the game. Where did he go to school, Spilly?
Let me think. UC Santa Barbara.
Oh.
He is what we call part of the Tri-Lambs. Lambda, Lambda, Lambda. That was the frat we were in.
Fraternity?
Yeah, frat.
Okay.
So Cueto's work done after 8 shutout innings of allowing just 4 hits. Johnny Cueto getting handshakes and hugs. And of course, who knows, is that the final game for Johnny in a Reds uniform? He was raised a Red.
Well, if it is, he went out in grand fashion.
Yeah, he did.
The 8 innings, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, 100 pitches on the nose, 68 for strikes.
It's probably good leverage from the Reds, where the other team is watching this game. I was like, okay, enough.
Uncle,
we're good. 100 pitches. I want him to do that for me.
Good job by Betancourt. He strikes out Schumacher. And that'll bring up the aforementioned Billy Hamilton. Time for the CenturyLink link to what's next. Tomorrow, a Sunday afternoon, Kyle Kendrick will take the baseball for the Rockies against young Michael Lorenzen out of Anaheim, California.
Already looking towards tomorrow. I'm going to see how Lorenzen throws coming out of the gate after having to warm up today. What's his mindset?
What is this about?
I'm not sure.
Brian Price trying to get between Bob Davidson and somebody else in the Reds dugout.
It's always kind of funny when an umpire turns to the dugout and can kind of say, hey, you be quiet. There's 25 guys over there. How can you pick it out and figure out who's yelling at you?
Well, it sounded like it might have been Cueto yelling at Bob, and what it sounded like from me was Bob says, how do you know where he's going?
Who knows?
Exactly.
Right, that's what I'm saying. just don't get me started, Spilly.
You know I love stirring the pot.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hamilton 0 for 4 last night, 3 hits tonight, and he has scored 2 runs. He's stolen a base, and he forced a throwing error on Ben Paulson with that speed. I don't know if you were, when you were wandering around the ballpark, if you caught our conversation on Hamilton's bunt single. When they were reviewing it, we timed it. Both of us put a stopwatch on him going up the line out of the right side of the batter's box. What did you hear where we had him at?
Yeah, I heard you guys. I think your math is off, but
it was off a little bit. It was quick math.
It was around 3.5.
3.5.
I had him in the low 3.4s. He had him in the mid 3.5s.
3.58. So I mean,
it's incredible.
Yeah, even if you split the difference, you're talking about 3.51, not 3.53. I know that's what the math you were talking about. I was trying to do it quickly without a calculator.
You come from the school of Jenny Kavnar math, so yeah, not the best school of math.
Well, Jenny's not here. We can throw her under the bus.
Yeah. She'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure she'll hear about it.
2-2 on Hamilton. That's stupid.
And what is it? It's about a step per 10th of a second, right? So if I'm running down the first baseline, which I ran down the first baseline pretty slow. I was slow out of the box. I was probably at 4.5. I was below average, but faster going to second. This guy's beating me by what, halfway to first base? He's getting to first.
Strike 3 outside corner to Hamilton. He was painted by Betancourt. That'll bring up Brandon Phillips.
Tried to go away to Billy Hamilton. A little running fastball. Well, that was off the plate. Bob Davidson still thought it was a strike.
Phillips a base hit in the 3rd inning, and he scored on the 3-run home run by Todd Frazier. 1 for 4 for Brandon. Huey missed Brandon Phillips. You did not. You played against him. He had to be a fun guy to compete with.
He was fun to compete with, and I always have the story about the time he took a base hit away from me in center field, pretty much. I like playing against Orlando Hudson. He was my favorite. He was always John.
What a catch. Charlie got there. That was in no man's land. Blackman makes the sliding catch to end the inning. Spilly, you have post-game duties. We will be watching.
Can't wait. I'll be down there.
All right,
let's get a rally. I need a rally.
Pull your forearm band up. Let's go.
I'm going to go hit right now.
Dial up a few hits, 6 runs. 5-0 Reds. Delivery of the game, not a surprise. Johnny Cueto, 8 shutout innings, allowing just 4 hits. He walked 1, struck out 5, hit a batter. He controlled bat speed throughout the evening. And if it is the final performance in his Cincinnati Reds career, it was a memorable one for Johnny Cueto. Now the Rockies will try to put together a massive rally against a massive man. Jumbo Diaz is now on the hill for Cincinnati. Just came back not too long ago from Louisville, and he's been spotless in his return. Overall numbers, 2-1 with a mid-5 ERA.
That's part of the reason why he was sent down earlier. This is his second stint with the Reds. He started the year on the opening day roster, but had a 6.65 ERA. And then sent back down on June, recalled just after the All-Star break.
Actually got his first big league victory opening day this year in relief. 5-2 win for the Reds over the Pirates. So DJ LeMahieu with that 14-game hitting streak on the line will be first up. DJ, probably his best chance for a hit. Remember that ball he hit off a big bouncer? Johnny Cueto had it tip off his glove into the middle of the diamond, and Brandon Phillips came and got it and fired just in time to first. You thought it was going to be an infield hit once it cleared Cueto.
And that was in the first inning when that happened. Brandon Phillips came in and barehanded, sidearm fling to first.
1 strike on DJ. Diaz with the slider.
That was a slider at 87 miles an hour. His fastball range from 97. He'll touch triple digits.
He's hit 101 this year. I'm always curious why guys who throw that hard, then the second pitch out of the bullpen. There's a base hit. I was going to say, I never understand why a guy who throws that hard will throw slider. In this case, slider. DJ says thanks very much. He's got a new career high with a 15-game hitting streak.
I had a 4.11 average during the hitting streak. Say thank you very much, Jumbo Diaz, for slowing the ball down for me. I still have to hit it, but DJ patented right field stroke again.
How many times in your career were you facing a guy with a plus fastball and they spun one, you go thank you?
Thank you. Well, there are plenty of times where you're saying, oh man, I couldn't have caught up to that fastball, but I could that slider because it didn't have as much break. That's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That's where hitters do. They'll say, man, that pitcher didn't know it, but I knew it, and he helped me out.
Tulo fouls it off. He's behind 0-2. So the 15-game hitting streak for DJ, the 13th streak of at least that length in the big leagues this year. Tulowitzki has the longest. He had the 21-gamer that ended recently.
Now with that hit, Aroldis Chapman is up in the bullpen.
If the Rockies get a little bit of traffic, they'll be forced to go to Chapman. Rockies trailing 5-0. They've been out hit 12-5. On that fastball that fans Troy Tulowitzki. 1 out. Here comes Cargo. He's 1 for 3.
Saw that tweet a moment ago. Congratulations to Dick Enberg winning the Ford Frick Award for broadcasts in the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Dick. We'll see him later on again in the summer, and tomorrow a real special class with the formal induction into Cooperstown.
I always said John Smoltz is one of the toughest guys that I had to face. No matter whether he was starting or closing.
And what a career he had. Try to pick off some sound for you to play during tomorrow afternoon's broadcast between the Rockies and Reds.
Pedro Martinez.
The little hamlet of Cooperstown, New York will be jumping tomorrow. One. Look
at what Diaz has done since that base hit.
All heaters.
All fastballs.
Sometimes it's like, well, I have it, so I want to throw it. Guess what? The number 1's pretty good.
I'm tricking myself. That's what the pitcher's thinking.
Cargo rips this ball to right center field. The hardest hit ball all night by a Rocky, and it's 1st and 3rd.
This isn't over yet. Still have some work to do, but Cargo with the 2nd hit tonight. That's the first runner for the Rockies that has gotten past second base and now at third base. Ball away from Cargo. We have DJ at third.
Well, Nolan's hand must be bothering him, because obviously Nolan would be up right now. He got hit in the hand his last time up, stayed in the ball game, but Descalso's going to pinch hit for him. And this could be a problem. Diaz, did he get him? Yep, on the tag he got Descalso. LeMahieu scores.
Squibber down the first baseline. Jumbo Diaz comes off the mound pretty well, fields it, and then tags Daniel on the back of the jersey on the Subaru Supermo. Right there, he catches the back of the jersey. But an RBI for Daniel. And let's just go back to Nolan. Let's just hope that's precautionary. It started to turns red, maybe a little swollen. Let's get him out and get some ice on that.
And we'll probably find out during the post-game show, so make sure you tune into the Toyota post-game show. You don't know if it's precautionary or if he had trouble gripping the bats, swelled up on him a little bit.
Nolan on the back of the hand. When you're gripping the bat that tight, then the ball, the pressure, pushing it back onto the handle. Care if it's a glancing blow and the ball drops straight down, it still hurts and it's unnerving.
2-strike count on Dickerson. Again, Nolan after that flexed his entire hand, closed his hand into a fist several times for Keith Duggar.
Well, and then
stayed in the ball game.
He went out and played the 8th inning and made a play on Marlon Byrd.
So again, you hope it's just as you said, a precautionary type of thing. 2 outs in the 9th. The Rockies trailing 5-1, an 0-2 count on Dickerson. Corey a base hit back in the 5th inning. And a balk's called by Bob Davidson. And Cargo will move to 3rd.
Bob immediately called for the balk. See if we pick up what Diaz did. Yeah, he did start his motion and then stop. Nine balks for Cincinnati.
Ground ball to short, and it's booted there by Suarez. You could see that coming a mile away, couldn't you, Huey?
Got caught on his heels. The youngster got caught sitting back instead of charging the ball. That's what you're taught from the time he started walking on a baseball field. Come get the baseball. And then when he let the ball play him, or he hits it sharply. But watch this second hop. He's going to get an in-between one. He's back on his heels. His glove is not out in front. All the things that you don't want to happen as a shortstop, but Colorado will take it. That's the 9th error of the season for Suarez.
Well, Brian Price wants his big left-hander. 5-2, Rockies rallying. Cincinnati, as the Reds are looking for the 27th out. The Rockies trying to avoid that. And you go back to Sunday. A memorable day for Aroldis Chapman. He struck out the 500th hitter of his career. Came against the Indians. And he did it faster than any player in the history of the game. He did it in 292 innings, striking out 500. Craig Kimbrell, 305. Billy Wagner. Brad Lidge out of Cherry Creek High School. Armando Benitez. You kidding me? 500 punch outs in 292 innings. Michael McHenry is going to pinch hit for Ben Paulson. Corey Dickerson at first.
Michael 2 for 14 pinch hitting.
The hardest pitch he's thrown this year, and he started out McHenry with a slider. The hardest pitch he's thrown this year was 103.9 miles an hour. So listen, we'll round off. We'll say it was 104. The next 50 hardest pitches thrown in Major League Baseball this year are all owned by Aroldis Chapman.
And then the first 2 pitches he throws to McHenry are sliders at 83 and 87.
Good.
That's why
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but that shows you how much he can vary the speeds on 2 different pitches. 4-time All-Star and elected by his peers each time.
Ground ball to the right side. Votto, the toss to Chapman, and that'll end the ball game. And that was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball for the record. 3 pitches and the 20th save for Aroldis Chapman. The Reds beat the Rockies tonight 5-2 behind Johnny Cueto, who threw 8 shutout innings. So the Reds improved to 43 and 52. The Rockies fall to 41 and 54. Again, Cueto gets the victory. He is now 7 and 6. Chris Russin takes the loss. He is 3 and 4. Time to take you to center field, the Toyota postgame show. Here's Mark Stout. Mark?
Yes, we're ready to tee it up. Jason Hirsch with me, Corey Sullivan. Corey, whenever Aroldis Chapman comes in, he always looks at me and he says, nightmare.
Maybe. I mean, it could put you in a slump for the rest of the season.
Yeah, don't want to face that guy. We will get you the details on this Reds win when we come back on the Rockies postgame report.